Good morning, Internet. Last night at around 11 p.m., the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 final trailer leaked online. And then around midnight, Jason Blum decided to finally upload it for real. Wow. All I'm going to say, that trailer was one of the best trailers I have ever seen in my life. Good God. It had me on the edge of my seat. I kid you not. This movie may be PG-13. I got my tickets exclusively for December 4th. I'm seeing it a day before. Let's go! But that's not all, folks. I proceeded to spend 5 hours analyzing the trailer, getting as much images as I can so I can make this breakdown video and stuff like that. Man, that trailer was something else. Am I right? Let me guys know in the comments. But without further ado, let's go ahead and break down this trailer. I have so much to talk about, but I'm not going to go a little platoon style. I'm just going to say what I see and just give a general plot thread. Here we frickin' go. Let's go! Alright, we gotta talk about the wizards and, all the animatronics, because what the fudge? You thought I was gonna say it. Gotcha. Anyway, let's start with the toy animatronics. Oh my gosh, they did the withered Chica with the white pimple eyes. Oh my gosh, they're doing the game accurate. All they have to do to complete the look is remove her beak. Oh my gosh, dude, I am so excited. We see Balloon Boy. That little, I'm not going to say the word, but you guys know in the comments, let me know what word you would use to describe Balloon Boy. But oh my gosh. They also murdered Balloon Boy, because I'll get to it when I talk about the wizards, but you guys will see just a head of Balloon Boy. I'll show you guys in a second. Toy Freddy is Toy Freddy. I'm very, very scared to see what he's going to do. But Toy Bonnie, my boy Toy Bonnie, good God, that guy is terrifying. The way he just picks up a knife and just goes at someone point blank for no reason. Holy crap. Now, we got to talk about the wizards. We have to talk about the wizards, right? Well, who should we start with? Because they're all so freaking good. Let's start with Withered Chica, shall we? Sorry, my dogs are being really loud, and this is the only place I can record right now. Anyway, Withered Chica. Holy crap. Hold on. Okay, let's start with Withered Chica. Oh dear God, that's fucking terrifying. There, now I said it. Holy crap, I saw her in the hallway, or in that, room, and oh my gosh, she's freaking terrifying. Literally, she just stands there in the hallway. The ore farming in this movie is something else, man. And I can talk about the Balloon Boy thing. I saw his head on the ground. I hope they kill the little shit. Yeah, boy. Finally, a FNAF guy got his revenge on Balloon Boy. Yes, sir. Let's see. Okay, we gotta talk about this. Withered Freddy looks so freaking good. It's not even funny. Oh yeah, hold on. I gotta go back to the toys. I forgot about Mangle. Holy crap, she has a car chase scene, and it's freaking cool. Dude, her hands, her head, the way she moves is so game accurate. I can't even begin to, I'm fanboying so hard, I'm sorry. I'm still in shock. Don't worry, these are just the animatronics. Wait until I get to Afton and Henry and stuff like that. Boy, do I got a lot to say about that. Okay, Withered Bonnie, my goat, Withered Bonnie. My top 3 animatronics in FNAF are Springtrap, Withered Bonnie, and who would even be my third? I don't really have a third because I don't, I don't really have a third. Probably Withered Foxy. Yeah, Foxy. Withered Foxy. For sure. So Withered Bonnie, dude, his open face paired with the vent scene that we got in the last movie is peak. Dude, I don't know how else to talk about it without just, it's so freaking good. I'm so excited to see a day early. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Oh man, I'm gonna make an initial reaction out of theater, but I'm not going to talk about it outside of that. And am I cosplaying? Abso-freaking-lutely I am. Should I wear the Freddy mask? Should I bring a Freddy mask? I think that would be appropriate given the movie. Anyway, back to the trailer. Okay, so Withered Foxy, he has the FNAF 2 jump scare. Kind of. The thing I've always had with Foxy and Blumhouse is it feels cheap. And it doesn't feel like Foxy. I can tell it's puppeted. I've always had that feeling. That's the only, design-wise, he's perfect. He is perfect design-wise. I have no issue. But I do kind of have an issue with the way he does a jump scare because it just kind of isn't threatening because he kind of just jumps. Kind of. It just... Not my favorite. However, I'm no longer blinded by nostalgia, and I had my fanboy movie. That was the first movie. I'm going... By the way, I should mention this. When we see the film in a month from now, a month from today, let's freaking go. Or a month from yesterday, in my eyes. But I'm going to this movie as a fan, but also a critique. I'm going to critique the actual heck out of this movie. I had my fanboy movie. Now this movie just needs to be good on its own versus just a good FNAF film. Now we need to talk about Vanessa. We get so many new shots and lore drops about Vanessa. Okay, so the Athens house is confirmed. We can now see and confirm that it is the Athens house. We can now confirm that she was tortured. Either by, being scared, being tortured, being, William being William Afton, I guess. And in this movie, she's trying to move on from her past, but she's having a hard time doing that because of, all the things her father has done. Now, I guess that's a nice segue into, William Afton. Of course. Who else would I be talking about? So, we got some leaked footage that's not in the trailer that I want to talk about before we get into the trailer, because trust me, the trailer has so much good freaking content for Afton. Oh my gosh. Number one, we see that Afton, when he was younger, gets arrested. That is a reference to FNAF 1, when they said that they have someone to the newspaper that said someone was arrested but not found guilty and they were released. I bet that's what happened in this movie. The MCI happens, which we see a flashback in the second FNAF 2 trailer. He does the MCI. He gets suspected and gets arrested, but not found. They didn't find the bodies. They didn't find any evidence, so they had to release him. That's why Emily was like, but I knew it was him because I'll talk about that in a minute. Now we can talk about Afton in the trailer because he is an ore farmer, dude. What the frick? Okay, so the first part of this, the first section of this trailer is literally just Vanessa and Afton in that dream sequence. Yes, we were correct. It's a dream sequence. I am so happy. It's more like a flashback dream sequence type thing because that adds so much character. But here's the thing, and I can't talk about more of Afton until we get to Henry, but oh my gosh, the first shot of Afton is just him standing in a room, just standing there, and then he just pulls a knife. He just pulls a knife and then starts humming as he's, hunting for Vanessa. But then we get the best shot, I think, in the trailer, and that is Spring Bonnie in the kitchen basement thing in the pizzeria, I'm assuming. Oh my gosh. Or maybe that's the Afton house's kitchen, and he's chasing her in the Spring Bonnie suit. Oh my gosh. I cannot tell you how creeped out I was when I saw that, because the music oh, this movie's gonna be freaking terrifying, dude. Oh my gosh. And then we see another shot with a weird mix of like a hum and music. Whispering Bonnie, I'll play it while I'm talking. Dude, it's so creepy. But they did such a good job with it. But now we can talk about the character we've been wanting to see. Well, actually, two characters. Let's start. Who do we want to start with? I'm gonna start with Charlie Emily. Okay, so she's confirmed. I'm not sure who she's holding in her arms. It is suspected that it's her twin brother Sammy, which will be massively different from the books, which only had one, and the games, which only had one child. So that would be different, but I can see that happening. But now, and then she dies, which now I can talk about Henry Emily, ladies and gentlemen. Skeet Ulrich is Henry Emily, and I can say with all honesty, they cooked with his design. Holy crap, dude. So basically, he has a scene with Mike where Mike is presumably looking for Abby but can't find her. I think this is before the animatronics go into town and start hunting down people, which I'll get to in a second when I get to the plot section. But when it comes to this section with Henry and Mike is going to Henry for help. Henry reveals he was either in business or had connections with William Afton himself. We see a newspaper of early William Afton, like when he started Fazbear, like back in the day, like when he was way younger. Wow, I did not expect them to drop that. My fear was they were going to drop Springtrap in this film and that I was going to go off on it, but they didn't do it. They're probably saving that for the movie, which is a very smart thing to do. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, okay, so, and then we get to the final part of the trailer. So now that we're done talking about the first, 30, 45 seconds, we can talk about the meat of the trailer. I've already talked about the characters, so I'm not going to get much into them. Now I'm just going to get into the plot. So, Vanessa and Mike go into the FNAF 2 pizzeria where Freddy Carter is waiting for them. It is believed and speculated, which I very much agree with, that he messed with their AI to make them hyper-violent. That makes sense. What I think is going to happen, which is what we saw in the last trailer, is Vanessa and Mike split up. Mike stays by the computer to, try to track things that are communicating via walkie-talkie, but then he gets jumped in the office, and then the puppet is gonna jump Vanessa. That's what I think is going to happen in this film. Because, wow, the animatronics are just hunting them down. We see Toy Freddy in Abby's room. We see Toy Bonnie about to strike someone down. We see Wayne Knight getting attacked by Toy Chica. We see Balloon Boy pop his head out, presumably under the desk, which is a nice little BB reference from Ultimate Custom Night. I'm really excited to see what they do with that. And then we get to see Mangle and Vanessa fighting in the car sequence, which we saw in the second trailer, I believe. And then we get the Foxy jump scare alongside Mangle's arm and attack position in that car. So this is going to be a very interesting movie. I'm going to give my final predictions in a second, but wow, this blew me away. Not only is this one of my favorite trailers I've ever watched, not only is it the best pace, shot, and probably decorated movie trailer / movie I've ever seen in my life. This, honestly, on a visual level, is better than the first movie by miles. It's not even close. Okay, I can't even begin to tell you how, they really said, okay, you guys didn't think it was scary? Hold my beer. You guys didn't think there was enough blood? Hold my beer. There wasn't enough lore with Afton? Hold my beer. They literally just said, okay, we're just going to take everything you guys said that was wrong and just put it in this movie for some reason. I find that so funny. But yeah, here's my final FNAF 2 prediction before we get to the movie, which, by the way, I will do a out of theater thing. I know I've already mentioned it. So the plan for the 4th is I'm seeing it the 4th, and then I'm seeing it with all my other friends on the 5th as well. So I'm going to be seeing it like twice back to back. It's going to be really fun. But yeah, so the plan is because I'm watching it at 7:30, so I'll make a out of theater reaction pretty much right after, non-spoiler, so I won't spoil anything. However, after the 5th, I'll wait for my friends to watch the film. Once we are done in the theater, whatever time that is, I will then make a spoiler review and give my honest thoughts on it. But anyway, what am I hoping not to see in this film? Well, I don't want to see Springtrap. I hope they keep him for the 3rd film. With Matthew Lillard's interviews recently with everyone that he's been talking to, he's been saying that the 3rd movie focuses on Springtrap. I hope that this movie maybe has a post-credit scene for Springtrap, but nothing more, nothing less. And then finally, I think Springtrap's the only thing I don't want to see. I'm fine with everything else being in this. I'm fine with them maybe teasing Fazbear Fright, but I do not want to see Springtrap. That's my biggest thing. I feel like that would be a cheap cop-out, and I'm not really for it. But let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments. I am really excited for this. Are you guys excited? Thank you all for watching. This is going to take so long to edit because I got to just slap photos everywhere. I might not even do photos. I'm just going to I don't even know. I got to figure it out because editing takes forever. But okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.